Welcome to the Heart of Real Estate podcast with Mike McFarland and Steven Salinas with the Mortgage Mike Group. On the podcast, Mike and Steven discuss with top producing real estate agents what makes them successful, unique, and purpose-filled. Each episode holds a key to unlocking a door to financial freedom.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Welcome.
Hello.
Yeah. Welcome to another edition
Of the Heart of Real Estate podcast. My name is Steven Salinas. I'm one of the podcast hosts here. Thank you guys so much for listening. I've got my partner in crime.
Oh, yeah. Mike McFarland.
Yep.
Right?
We're the Mortgage Mike Group.
Yes, we are.
We're we work in the Houston area, but we really are all over Texas. And really what we found is that there's some amazing people around us that we can learn from. One of those amazing people is Dionne Randall with MOD Realty. Dionne, thanks so much for coming.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for coming.
you so much for having me.
Yeah. Well, I got to go back. You're listening to the right podcast right, Stephen? We cover that because you want to be at the right podcast. So this would be if you are struggling, like if you're losing clients and you're struggling with the follow-up.
We can all relate.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Like, do we not know that? So systems of follow-up, client engagement, also business planning, and like beyond just like business planning, but like how do you track and keep up with it? And Dionne is awesome at this, by the way. So we're so excited to have you on
Thank you
our
so
show
much
today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome.
Yes.
You're welcome. So Dionne, you have a really interesting story in how you got into real estate. Would you just share that with our listeners? Because I think as Stephen and I got to know you, it feels like that's the foundation upon which you really built your business.
Yes. It's a couple of things. I'll touch real fast on both of them.
Okay.
One of the things, when I was in college, I worked for a accounting firm, and I was in school for accounting. And the CPA that I worked for, I was his administrative assistant. And he basically had his hands on all investments in real estate, everything in real estate, flipping houses. He owned apartment complexes, convenience stores, motels, you name it. He's done all of that. So he was my inspiration. I wanted to invest, but I didn't have the money to invest, but I was very attractive to real estate. Another story is when I bought my first house, I was 25 years old, and the real estate representation that I received was poor. And, this is a big investment that people are making. And I just think they should have proper representation. I didn't get an inspection. We didn't do a final walkthrough of the house. We did nothing.
And you didn't know any better.
I didn't know any better. I thought this is the way that real estate was to be done. Yes.
Right. So you trusted somebody.
Yes.
And then
I trusted someone, and basically they failed me.
Yeah. So I know you told us when you got into the house, right? You closed and you showed up.
And I cried.
And
So you
I was
walked
basically,
in,
I fell in
cried.
love with the stuff that the other owners had, their furniture. I was like, oh, this is so pretty. I was just so oblivious to what really went on with the transaction, even from the loan process. They just told me, get this loan, and this is what you do. I didn't have options. So it was a 20% down. I put down 20%.
wow.
So I got in the house. I spent most of my savings putting down the money, and I couldn't renovate it. So we took Home Depot classes and bought stuff and waited 2 and 3 months to actually do the repairs ourselves.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wow.
that was the story.
You got a crash course in flipping, and you probably weren't expecting that at all.
I wasn't expecting
right?
it at all.
You just had to change your current situation. You're
Yes.
like, it cannot be this way. So you said you took Home Depot classes? Is that what you
I
said?
did.
Wow.
To lay tile. And back then we were doing wallpaper. But also, wallpaper's back, though.
Right. It
Make note
is.
of
I
that.
It
know.
is
I
coming
told my
back.
wife, we're not putting that in our house.
We were this close to putting some wallpaper in our nursery.
Yeah.
We were close.
Yes.
I was like, maybe next time around. But that's such a cool story. Were you alone in doing this? Did you have any help?
No, I was married, but we were both young.
Okay.
And we were making this purchase, and we were just like, yes, we're going to be a homeowner. We were excited
Yeah.
about that. Yes.
Wow. And so looking back, I know how long have you been in the real estate industry?
This is my 21st year.
21st year. And this is also the 1 year, we just almost landed on the 1 year anniversary
Yes.
of your new
February
brokerage.
11th, I
Okay.
opened my doors to MOD Realty, and I am the broker owner of MOD Realty.
I love it. Why MOD Realty?
MOD. I just thought about the person that I am, and I'm always looking to elevate and always looking to find new innovative ways to do business. And MOD stands for the modern way to buy and sell real estate. So just we're always trendy. We're trying to stay up with the trends in the real estate market.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Yes.
That's so great.
Yeah. So you had talked to, or you had mentioned some before about just systems of follow-up, right? So if we're thinking, all right, how do we engage with the client today, right? The modern way of engaging with the client.
Yes.
Looking, because I mean, in the past it was like, right. I mean, it's different. The way that we engage with our clients and
yes,
is the same and different at the same time, but it's not like it was 10, 15 years ago.
No, absolutely not.
So how is that modern? What does that modern look for you guys?
We have like cloud-based systems.
Okay.
Everything is done cloud-based, a paperless office.
Okay.
Transactions are done through the cloud-based system. We just put a lot of modern things into play. Mm-hmm. How we market our listings, how we talk to our buyers, the things, the tools that we put in place to help out realtors to get new business.
Right.
Yes.
I love it. I know. I think the worst feeling, and I think we can all relate being in this industry, is, helping someone start the process. You put the time and effort into it. You care for them, learn their story, and then they're saying, "Hey, maybe I'll purchase in 6 months." Right? So they say, "Okay, 6 months," and then at that point, it's really up to you to follow up with them. I mean, without a system, you mentioned that people can just easily forget about you. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So we have a CRM in place.
Okay.
We encourage people who have teams in our office to actually put a CRM in place, but we also have one for the brokerage where realtors can stay on track, keep their clients' information in our system. It's also connected to our website. I think the thing that realtors need to understand, and well, anybody in this industry, you have to nurture people. You have to stay in contact with them. You have to just keep in touch. Not just with people who are waiting to buy, but some of your past clients that are looking to upgrade. You have to stay in touch and just nurture that client.
How do you do that? What does that look like when you stay in touch with, let's just say like a past client? What does that system look like beyond just maybe just an email? Is it bigger than that? It's a
personal touch.
Okay.
We do a lot of Popeyes, or we do personal touch. We do a lot of raffles. Like for Valentine's Day, we raffled off a $300 gift card to Mastro's.
Great.
And so for Christmas and Thanksgiving, we give away stuff. We do a 12 days of Christmas raffle. For Thanksgiving, we give away pies.
Yeah.
So it's just staying in touch. It is remember the client after the transaction.
Yeah.
After you made money, to continuously stay in connection with that client. Whether it's just a phone call, you never know when you could be a blessing to someone, where I pick up the phone and I basically say, "Hey, how are you doing? How's your kids?" And you never know when somebody that just needs that phone call.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
They need that connection.
You said that one of you, like your routine in the morning. Tell us a little bit about that, because I think if you're looking to be a blessing, you have to be grounded.
Before I pick up my phone, we're guilty as a society. The first thing we do is look at our cell phones, our social media, our emails, our text messages. Before I pick up the phone, I say a prayer.
Nice.
I truly believe that God has put me in this position to bless others. And he's just, I mean, I could write a book about my life and the journey that I've experienced, not just in real estate, but in life. And God has had his hands on me the whole time. And I like to pray. I pray. Yeah. I think it's important to just have a deeper connection in life with not just the business, but a deeper connection with the higher being.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. And just praying before, just being a blessing, right? Like, Lord, how can I'm a vessel, use me today, because we in our work that we get to do a lot of phone calls, which is interesting because we get into it because we're people, but then also that becomes like those phone calls can also become an impediment, right?
Absolutely.
In that mindset of, okay, Lord, use me to be a blessing to somebody today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. And then the chance to, maybe you've caught them in a moment where they do need prayer and you're able to come alongside
I've
them.
so many moments like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that takes the relationship beyond just a transaction.
Yes.
And it takes it into a deeper place of friendship, right?
Wow.
Yes. Let me say this too. We, at one point, one year we have about 900 people in our database.
Goodness.
That I've actually sold a property to, one of my team members or I did. So anybody that is my client, I actually take them the pie myself. I don't have a service. I go deliver it. One year I was like, I was so stressed out. I had almost 200 pies to deliver.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And my clients were like, I feel so bad. And I'm like, no, it's a once in a lifetime thing for me to come out and actually let them see my face. I haven't seen them in years.
Right.
And just to have that connection.
Right.
And I don't just sell in one area. I sell all over Houston.
Goodness.
You almost have to put together like an Amazon, route.
I'm like, hey,
around
somebody
Houston.
get a pie before Thanksgiving.
Right. Just
Freeze
be
your
ready.
pie. Yes. Yeah, but
Wow.
I spent about 3 or 4 days doing that.
Wow. I think starting your day with perspective like that, it gives you opportunity to see people and nurture them, like you said, because you kind of see yourself in them in a way, realizing that we're all, just kind of, we don't have it all figured out. We're always learning, and we need help, and we need some grace to extend grace to people. And I think starting your day like that, that's so important. I really like that. So as you kind of start your day like that, let's transition into maybe talking about how you start business planning. Whenever you're putting together a business plan, maybe talk about like what you've done recently for 2023.
Yes.
I'd love to hear, how you put it together, and also how do you stay true to that plan? Because I think we all have great big goals and aspirations, but I think we all kind of struggle with, staying true with the day-to-day things. Tell us about that.
So what I do is, let me first say, my brokerage is a full service brokerage. I still have my team, and we're 1 year in it. So my team is still keeping the business afloat, but I do have individual agents as well. But as far as my team goes, what we do is every December, everybody, even me, include me, we get in a team huddle and we do a business plan. We do a SWOT analysis. And anybody who doesn't know what a SWOT analysis is, it basically is you critiquing you and your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities that you may have, or your threats.
Mm-hmm.
So we do a SWOT analysis on ourselves, and we kind of have an open forum about it.
Mm-hmm.
And what can we do to make ourselves better? And this is not just a SWOT analysis is not just for business or their business plan. It's also for yourself.
Yeah,
we
life.
talk about family, faith. We talk about how are you going to be a better person.
That's so great.
And if you start with your core, I think it helps you to develop in a better person on the business end.
Yeah.
So we do that, and then I'm like their accountability partner, and I make sure that they stick to their plan to reach their goals. And so it's goal setting, it's a business plan, it's them critiquing themselves, and what are they going to do more of, what are they going to do less of, and just making them be accountable for what they put on that paper.
I love how you look at it, not from just the business perspective, through the life perspective.
Oh, if you have a good core.
Yeah.
If your core is good, your business is going to be just as well.
Well, it takes care of itself, right?
Absolutely.
We're so out of whack that we're so focused on business and we forget about, are we connected spiritually the way we need to be? Are we connected to family? Are we connected to health? Are we connected to our finances?
Yes.
Right? Those things are all foundational. You said, like you said, core.
Yeah.
And I think too many times I'm going to build a business plan. Oh, that's great. What about your personal plan?
Yes.
Right.
Oh, ours is all in one. We put it together.
I love that. So from the standpoint of accountability, right? Then there's this kind of tracking piece. Yes. What does accountability and tracking look like for you, for your agents that you work with them? Like, how do you review yourself? How do you coach your agents? What does that system and process look like?
I'm the type of person, just for self, I'm my biggest critic. And I kind of always look at myself in the mirror and like, okay, like I'll put it to you like this. We have an awesome CRM system that is connected to our website that it captures leads. So we also have an inside salesperson, and our numbers were a little bit low. And so when I had the meeting with them, I'm like, listen, our numbers are low. You see what closings we're having. We need to do something better. But I didn't just look at her and say she's not doing what she's supposed to do. I also looked at, let me figure out how I can help her.
Right.
It may be some blocks. It may be, and a part of it is one of the office space, the space we had her in, it just didn't have windows and stuff. And I just felt like, so I moved her and I found her something better. I moved her. So I don't just point the finger. I also look at things I could do to better help my agents.
Yeah. How do you set them up for success? And sometimes they don't even know the impediments, right? Like you said, it's like I'm in a room
it's the systems I
light.
put in place.
Yeah.
I put great systems in place for them. I offer training. We also have what is called MOD Academy. And so we have a training program. So they have accessibility so they can go to the academy and find different programs to benefit them. As far as, and it goes deeper. It's like dealing with difficult clients.
Yeah.
It's not just how to work social media.
Right.
How to work HAR. It's not just things that you would think. It's going deeper, because sometimes if you could be having a bad day because you had difficult clients and you don't know how to handle it. So we have programs to teach you how to deal with difficult clients.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. I wrote down in my notes when we talked earlier, just train, educate, and professional.
Absolutely.
Right.
You hit it.
And so you like when you said that just triggered that. It's like, oh my gosh, that's right. Dionne was talking about, you got to train people. You've got to educate them. We're here professionally. Right.
Yes.
So, and I think that goes really well with MOD.
Yes, it does.
Right. That complements you so well. And that complements your company so well. So you bring those resources to your agents. That's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because really your team and the people that are in your brokerage, they're almost a reflection of you in a lot of ways, because you're training them. You're teaching them, the right ways to do things. You also mentioned it's okay for them to think outside the box.
You have so many people that in every aspect of life that they go to school and they just learn and they're like, oh, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do that. You got to be an outside of the box thinker. You can't the instructors are meant to teach you, this is what you do. You do this, you do that. As long as it's legal, think outside the box to get deals done. I mean, I've had to help builders, loan officers think outside the box, and it's ridiculous. And I think as a real estate agent, realtors need to understand that we are the only people that are connected to everybody in the transaction. We talk to the loan officers. We talk to the title companies. We talk to the appraisers, the inspectors, the other agents. We are that core of real estate. And sometimes we have to be the ones to think differently. We have to be the ones to say, hey, Mr. Loan Officer, if my client is to do this, this, and that, can we get the deal done?
Right.
And as a team, we work together to make things happen, because it may be stuff that the loan officer doesn't know about the client that
you just have to talk about it.
And we have to go to you to say, hey, what about this? And you say, okay, yeah, we could do that.
Right.
The client never told you, but they told us.
Interesting.
So it's just thinking outside the box.
Yeah, that's so important. I mean, that's why it's important to have partners that are like-minded and like-hearted.
Absolutely.
Because in the perfect world, everybody that you're working with on a transaction does think outside the box, solves problems without even bringing it up. But we both know that is not a reality.
That's not the perfect. Right?
It's not.
It'd be nice. Perfect doesn't exist. Yeah. And so that's where training and educating, taking ownership of the client and the transaction and the experience, right? Because in the end, we're creating an experience for the client.
And see, part of my training is, Like we do have online classes, but when I instruct, it's a little bit different because it's the raw stuff. It's the core stuff. I'm not just sitting here saying A plus 1 plus 1 equals 2. I'm giving you the things that get you by, like the real stuff in real estate.
Right.
The things that you're really, the day-to-day operations, the things that you're going to deal with. I help people build teams. I help people to be successful in real estate.
Yeah. Well, 26 years of experience with
21.
I'm sorry, 21. Sorry, 21. Let me just, don't want to jump ahead there. It's 21 years of experience in starting off on your own, building your team. Gosh, launching off out of Remax, right? I mean, that was a big deal for you.
Yeah, I was with Remax for 19 and a half years. And
I mean, that's the chunk of your career.
19 and a half years.
And it was like, should I
stay or
should I leave? Should I stay? And so I had some milestones, some birthday milestones, and we won't talk about that. And milestones with last year being my 20th year in business. And I picked an office. We're in the Upper Kirby area. And I picked an office that was not ready. It was a Pilates studio. And we had to design it. And then we finally got the walls up. We still had the tape all on walls where they needed to come back. And I was like, God just told me. He's like, move. And I moved, and I had like a little TV tray as my desk. 2 TV trays, one for my papers and one for my desk. And I moved February 11th of 2022. And I moved without getting all my awards because I had a killer 21 year.
Right.
I was just like, it wasn't important to me.
Yeah.
What was important was my mission and my goal for my company and to get that started.
What is that mission?
I have, for me, the mission is to train realtors, to teach, to give the knowledge that I have.
Yeah.
To these people that are coming in that are clueless.
Yeah.
To restructure some of the people that's been in the business a while that's learned wrong. And just to give, just to really, really, I care about people. I care about the transactions. I care about the realtor success. And just to give knowledge to anyone who opens up my door.
Yeah. I think that goes back to, if I draw it back, it would go back to that experience of buying your first home. Right.
Oh, yes.
And that kind of the trauma, right? I'm like,
it was
oh
trauma.
my gosh. And then, right.
You don't know, it was so much trauma, but you learn from your mistakes. And maybe if I never went through that, I wouldn't feel so passionate about where I am today.
Yeah. Cause if you moved in and it was a perfectly furnished home that had everything that you wanted.
I had the best real estate agent.
And you probably
wouldn't have
be just like that person.
Yeah. You probably wouldn't have maybe not even gotten into the
You'd just
the industry.
You would be in accounting somewhere. And maybe
no, I wouldn't be in
anything else.
You start working in your field and you're like, this is not what I want to do.
Yeah.
So yes. But I wouldn't have been in that. I think I still would have been in real estate, but I definitely would have probably had a different mindset.
Yeah.
That this is how you're supposed to do real estate. And this was a good agent.
Yeah.
And yeah, because you learn from 2 ways. You either learn what not to do or, learn, what to do. And I think, I don't know. I mean, it seems like that experience, it put some drive and it put some kind of healthy, fire behind you just to do something different.
Yeah, that was the initial. There's a lot of things that happened on my journey that put my mindset where it is today. And I'm very appreciative of all the mistakes, the trials and tribulations of life, personal, work, all of it, because it brought me where I am today.
That's awesome. What a blessing. As we wrap things up, I always like to ask this question. Yeah. I want you to, Dionne, imagine that you were invited to, this real estate conference in a place that you've always wanted to go. It's a big, big conference. Real estate agents, real estate professionals are coming from around the globe to come to this conference, and they invite you to be one of the speakers. And they want you to share, what does it mean to be professional in this business? What would you say to this group of people that are looking to be professional, to change what they're doing?
I would say appreciate the business that comes to you. being professional means being appreciative to me. It is, we have 40,000 agents in the Houston metropolitan area. You got to stand out. And a part of standing out is you got to decide what your core market is. And you got to be what your core market is. You can't say, I want $1 million listings, and you're not acting as if that's what you want.
Yeah.
I think being professional means being professional in the market that you're targeting. If you were to sell boats, I think it would be perfectly professional to have shorts on while showing the boats.
Mm-hmm.
If I want to sell $1 million properties, I think you got to look professional. You got to look like you want to sell the $1 million properties. If you want to deal with single mothers, I think it is okay to look like a mom.
Yeah.
And so it just depends on what your target market is.
Wow. I think that's great. I think, like what you said, being appreciative of what you have, and also,
knowing who you're going for.
Yeah. Knowing like your identity, where you want to be, and matching your environment, being, all things to all people,
Yes.
where you want to be.
Absolutely.
I love that. Well, I think, Mike and I can agree. You are one of the most professional, people that we know in the industry.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
And,
I appreciate that.
We're thankful just to hear your story. I know you have a mission to educate, the people that are working with you and working alongside you.
Yes.
One of the slogans of this podcast is bringing people together. So our hope is that, our listeners that want to grow and being professional, want to be challenged, to reach out to Dionne, because she can share a lot and give a lot.
Wisdom. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys for having me. It was so amazing for you guys to reach out to me, to ask me to come on. I'm very appreciative of it.
We are so grateful for you.
I'm glad for the connection.
We're so glad we got to know
Yes.
you. Yeah. What a blessing for us. So
What a blessing.
Yeah. And that's it. So there's a wrap on this show. If you want to, we just ask people to know, like, comment, subscribe, like all those things that you got to do. Share this with a couple people. Would love that. Subscribe to the show, and we'll see you on the next edition of
the Heart of Real Estate Podcast. See you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Heart of Real Estate Podcast. If you found this episode thought-provoking and helpful, do us a favor and share it with 2 of your friends. Also, feel free to leave any comments or reviews. And if you want to learn more about the Mortgage Mike Group, reach out. We'd love to connect.